And Top Story is always brought to you by Vodafone. There is a long queue forming tonight among leaders and executives of the main opposition National Democratic Congress, all desperate to endorse former President John Mahama. After much expectation, Mr. Mahama finally picked forms today to formally contest to be presidential candidate for the NDC in the 2024 general elections. He will come up against at least 4 other contenders, including former Finance Minister Dr. Kwabena Duffuor. But at the party headquarters today, even before the real contest gets underway, party chairmen across the country have already declared their support for Mr. Mahama. Now, some of them accompanied Mr. Mahama's team to the NDC headquarters to pick the forms. John Kwejo Japon is the Dean of the NDC Regional Chairman. He spoke to my colleague Samuel Mbura.
We are all Democrats. Yeah, I, John Kwejo Japon, support my flag bearer, former president. Now, everyone has said what.
Is this decision a unanimous one from all the 16 regions?
That is what I believe.
Have you consulted all your regional chairmen and they said we are all going in for John Mahama?
If you are talking about my regional chairman, on one, I know everybody supports John Dramani Mahama.
But you are the dean of all the regional chairmen, right?
Oh yeah, that is just.
So did you consult them?
I'm saying that my regional chairmen are here. You saw them. Yeah, you saw them, and they are. It's not that it's not here. All of them are here, and we want to support.
I didn't see the entire 16 regional chairmen.
It is not always that the 16 should come. I'm speaking on behalf of the 16 chairmen. I'm speaking on behalf of them. Those from Upper West and Upper East had to do other things. They are not here. You understand? And then those who didn't come asked permission. They couldn't be here. But as you saw, at least the majority of the people are here. And I'm saying that we are supporting John Dramani Mahama because he has experience and he is the most popular person in NDC now.
So
are you
not going to be somehow biased towards the other candidates that will come in to campaign in the various regions because you have already communicated your support?
We are not. Have you heard it anywhere? No, we are not going to be biased. I hope you heard what Prof said. They are our brothers. They are our brothers. Yes, everybody knows why. Each of them has a reason why he wants to contest the election. But I know that each of them has a reason that even though he will not win, let me contest the elections.
Well, joining me in the studio right now is my colleague Kojo Brace, who was at the party headquarters where John Mahama and his team picked up the nomination form. Just let's get it clear. John Mahama himself wasn't there today.
He wasn't.
It was a team that came led
by Professor Joshua Alabi.
Okay. Now, did you see any of the other regional chairmen there, as the dean suggested in that interview?
Yeah. So I saw the dean himself. I saw the Western Region Chairman, Nana Kojo Tutoku, who I know personally. I saw the Western North Chairman, Big Edu. I saw the, I think it's the voter because he introduced himself as the chairman of the World Bank, so I remember so well. And I think the Northern Region, the Northeast, and I think Savannah as well. Okay. That's how they introduced themselves. The chairman explained that those who couldn't come asked for excuse for some 1 or 2 reasons, but to him, and according to him, when we spoke to him, he said, all the 16 regional chairmen back former President John Dramani
And the dean
Mahama.
himself is the chairman of the OT region.
Yes.
And the question Samuel Mbura pushed about the fairness of the process when party executives like regional chairmen have already taken sides in the race that is yet about to begin in earnest. Present at the headquarters today was the chairman of the party's elections committee. Did he comment on this?
No, there wasn't any comment on that. What he spoke about was the fact that there's too much backwardness in this country. The country is headed for, a ditch, and they need an experienced person to rescue it. And he believes John Dramani Mahama has what it takes to do or undertake that rescue.
I'm very happy that you are here. You have a very heavy duty because removing a tyrant is an extremely frightening job, but you said you'll do it. We trust you. You are part of us. We know you're also suffering, so we know that you do your best for all the people of Ghana, including ourselves. I take it that you know what it means to be president of Ghana in these very sorry times. Let me tell you a small story. On 28th February 1948, soldiers who are retired. You remember the story, don't you? A few days to come, you have the anniversary. Soldiers who have retired demonstrated. I was not born. Prof, I don't know whether I was born. But nobody ever dreamt that it will happen again. Can you imagine that pensioners are going on strike on the Akufo-Addo? You know what I'm talking about.
Now, Brace, leading John Mahama's team today was a man who once challenged him for the flag bearership slot for the 2020 elections, Joshua Alabi. It appears he has now come to accept that John Mahama, as he calls him, is a messiah.
If you listen to him, clearly he believes that John Mahama, with his experience as a former president and with what he was able to do during his presidency, and also having served as vice president, he has what it takes to lead this party.
And we can't afford to allow him to sit down whilst we have a very huge challenge, tax to settle. So we are here to pick his form and to work for him. Working for him is not only working for him, but working for the National Democratic Congress and working for the people of Ghana. They need us and we need to lead. I'm very confident that come 2024 December, January 2025, NDC will be forming the new government. And the NDC will be forming the new government under the leadership of His Excellency John Dramani. The NDC has done it before, and the NDC have left very experienced hands to assist His Excellency John Dramani Mahama to do it again. Somewhere in the 80s, when it was very difficult for this country, it was the experienced hands of people from the NDC who were able to move the country from a very, very challenging moment. Again, we have a similar challenge. We have the experienced hands, and they are all available and ready to support His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. I assure the people of this country that under the leadership of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, within a matter of 2 years, you will see signs of development. We will first stabilize and move, and I'm very confident that at the end of it, the NPP will never see power again in this country.
That's a Joshua Alabi there. Well, John Mahama had to pay 30,000 cedis today to pick up the forms. Well, guess what? A team of Okada riders, yes, Okada riders, apparently had raised part or all of the funds for him. My colleague Samuel Mbura was yesterday at the ceremony where the commercial motor riders presented a huge brown envelope to the John Mahama campaign team. He joins us on the telephone line right now. Samuel, in these hard, difficult economic times, I wonder how these Okada riders came up with all or part of that 30,000 cedis John Mahama needs to pick up the forms. Of course, he's picked up the forms today. Did you ask them, and what did they tell you?
Well, Evans, I posed this question to these Okada riders. They admitted the economy had been tough for them due to the high cost of fuel prices affecting their businesses. But that hasn't deterred them from putting together the little resources to support the John Mahama campaign. Their conviction is that he's the right person to put the economy back to shape if given a reason they are rallying support despite the economic situation in the country to support him.
Former President John Dramani Mahama tell us that in 2020, when we win the election, he will legalize the Okada. He not free win. But believe everything by God. But we believe in 2024, your mama should be in president. But we are pleading your mama to come out and pick the form, and we are pleading to all the candidates to step down and live for only your mama.
We are pleading him to go for the forms. That's why we brought the petition to him and some little to go for the forms.
So because he want to legalize Okada, it means that he has seen Okada people to be having their own work doing. So when he legalizes Okada, it's going to help the youth. And that is why we have to approach them.
We can't buy motor anymore. We can't, patronize our businesses anymore like how it have been. A lot of people depend on this motor riding. It's affecting, we cannot take, right now there's a lot of loans that people are taking just because they have to make an estimate of it. And at the end of the day, it's difficult to pay those loans.
I mean, Samuel, we know the former president certainly has no difficulty coming up with 30,000 cedis himself. Did he accept the envelope yesterday?
Well, the former president wasn't around himself. to receive the petition from the Okada riders and also take their mobilized funds contained in a brown, it's actually a huge brown envelope that was presented by the Okada riders. The former chief of staff, Julius Debra, did that on his behalf and assured President Mahama will consult and work with the ordinary Ghanaian when giving the nod to lead the country.
So I will build a new Ghana for Ghana to have a peaceful life.
Nice to understand that his philosophy of governance is about listening to the people. It doesn't necessarily matter about your status in society. President Mahama is never going to be listening to, oh, this is a professor, this is a doctor, this is a graduate. No, we are all Ghanaians. And per our traditional adage, we've been made to believe that no single person is a repository of wisdom. Therefore, if you are leading a group of people, you must always be prepared to listen to the views and opinion of the people you are leading. And that alone, we want to assure you that if by God's grace, which of course myself and my colleagues, we're all going to pray and fast possibly, so that the man agrees and listens, to the petition that you brought. Now, if that happens, he wants you to know that he's going to govern in consultation with people such as your good self.
I want to return to you, Brace, because today there was a surprise package.
Very.
Also at the NDC headquarters. Somebody I haven't encountered before, have not heard the name before, but apparently he was also there to pick up forms and pay 30,000 cedis.
Sure.
Who is this individual?
The name is Ernest Kweku Kwobia, and he goes with the tagline, Woda Chinti. Now he says that he represents the youth and he has a plan to rebuild this country. And he believes with the background works that his team is doing, he will be able to beat former President John Dramani Mahama and win the election to build this new Ghana he's talking about.
So I will build a new Ghana for Ghana to have a peaceful life, nice accommodation to live in, and the youth need me to be there to make the changes happen. We've been suffering for so many years, and all the time is up and down. A time has come for us to build a new Ghana. So I will need everyone's support to build up the nation.
But before you build a new Ghana, you need to first win the party. I heard someone in there say that they don't even know you. What is this confidence you have when a party does not know you and still you believe that you can still win this?
It's everyone in NDC be known. No. So we have people underground and they can come up. As you know, NDC secure democracy. So anyone can come from outside and say that so far as he pays his dues, he got the card, is allowed to contest. So if you know me, you don't know me, got nothing to do with me, and it's not stopping me to deliver what I want to deliver for my nation.
What is your game plan?
Don't worry about it. My team is working on it, and when the time comes, you will see the change. I'm trying to tell you that you just wait and see. The little man will bring changes to the nation, and then everyone will be saved forever.
So, is he known to the party?
No. At the committee table where he was going to pick his forms, they were introducing them to the members on the table. And I heard Kakre Samoa say, he asked me a question that, do you know this person? He said, no. He said, well, you want to contest for this party and you don't know this person, it's not good. So you have to, try to know everybody. Then the dean of the chairman, when we're interviewing him, said, well, I've seen someone here who says he wants to contest. I've never met him in my life. I don't know where he's coming from. Blah, blah. So it looks like he's not someone who is like known as in known, like the Dufors, the John Mahamas, the Kojo Bonsus. He's not. He is not there like that. But this is a businessman who thinks that, well, I have been paying my dues all over these years, and I have what it takes to lead the party, and so I'm putting myself out there. If I'll be voted for, I'm ready to lead the party.
So he paid the 30,000.
He did.
If he returns the form, he's
going to pay 500,000 Ghana cedis. So if he does pay, then that tells you that he's really in for business. He says he has a team on the ground who are doing a lot of work for him, and he believes in his plan. He doesn't look like a pushover. Because he says he does not care if you know him or not. What he cares about is what his team is doing and what his ambitions are. He's in for not just to show off, because there was a question about whether he's in to register his name so that in case they come to power, he can get an appointment. He says, no, that's not the plan.
Because it appears he's a contractor of a sort.
Exactly. I mean, if you listen to what he's talking about, he looks like someone who is into the construction sector. But this is someone who, obviously, because he's been paying his dues and watching how the space is, he feels that, well, I can make a difference. So I'm coming to put myself out there.
And you mentioned 2 other names. We expect that...
Dr. Kwabena Dufo will pick his forms tomorrow, and then Kojo Bones will pick the information that he'll be picking tomorrow. So from tomorrow, Dr. Dufo will be picking. Between tomorrow and Wednesday, Kojo Bones will also be picking.
Okay, thank you very much, Kojo Brace. Now, talking about endorsements of former President Mahama, newly appointed Minority Leader Dr. Kaysalata Foxing is one of those in that long queue declaring their support for Mr. Mahama. In fact, he had gone a step further, declaring his entire constituency will back the former president.
He will be elected soon, I know, for sure. And when that is done, he becomes the leader of the NDC.
I take that as an endorsement of John.
Oh, yes, I don't hide it. I don't hide it, and I'm sure no one in NDC will hide it. We all know that President Mahama presents the best opportunity for NDC to ever come back to office as we speak. My constituency will work for him. I'll work for him myself, and I can hide that. It's a feeling that I can never hide it.
The man he replaced, former Minority Leader Haruna Idrisu, also recently gave John Mahama his full endorsement.
President Nana Addo Dankwa and his failings have made President Mahama more credible and a good credible candidate to market. Everything he cautioned against, which this government said we will do, they have done it to failure.
Did I just say you endorsed John Mahama?
I have no hesitation doing that if I have to, because I essentially will vote him, and my constituency will stand strongly.
Now, for the General Secretary of the NDC, Fifi Kwete, John Mahama is, quote, the big favorite.
Off the top, I would say, based on the history, you see John Mahama starts clearly as a big favorite, but it doesn't stop anything. People say that was not favorite, but I came, so you never know.
Well, Kakra Samoa is the chairman of the party selections team and joins us on the telephone line right now. Mr. Samoa, thanks for your time here on Top Story.
Thank you, Master.
And today we saw the original chairman, led by the dean, declaring their support for John Mahama. Is that allowed, considering that they are party executives?
They are allowed to declare for any aspirant in their personal capacity. Once in declaring their support for the aspirant, they are not saying that this declaration also means that my entire region is behind John Dramani Mahama. They are within their right to do.
But how do you make that distinction? Because if you listen to the dean, the dean, for example,
I'm not making that distinction. They said it.
When we pushed the dean to the other party, they said, well, all the 16 chairmen back and endorse John Mahama. That's almost sounding as if they're delivering the entire region to him.
That is not the thing. All 16 chairmen as individuals are backing John Mahama. That is their personal view. But beyond that, whether they back John Mahama or not, there will be presidential primaries in each and every region. That's number one. Number two, under our constitution, I'm talking about the NDC institution, even if John Mahama alone were the aspirant that we qualified, there will still be an election. Please, am I clear?
There will be an election, and I'm pretty sure you know the saying, fairness must be seen to have been dispensed with. You must not only deliver fairness, but people must see that you've actually done it. I mean, this particular approach.
I am the chairman of the election committee. None of my members, nor me as a person, have declared for anybody.
Yeah, I haven't heard you declare for anybody.
Yes.
But you see where the challenge comes in when the regional chairman who are currently sitting executives
I have
say they have
indicated
declared?
that they are doing so in their personal capacity.
Have you issued guidelines though to sort of govern this whole process going forward and the campaign do's and don'ts?
Each aspirant who can is first given the guidelines to go through, and that was what guided in people to fill the form that we give him to fill, and then to determine how he conducts for her campaign.
So that's for the aspirants themselves. What about party executives? Do they also have any do's and don'ts as they shepherd the process going forward?
We are not supposed to use our position to commit those over whom we pretend.
So we saw today the picking of the forms for John Mahama. I understand that you are expecting. Are you scheduled to receive any more form picking from individuals? We know.
I gather from your comments after your reporters spoke that they left there a little bit early. Because after Ms. Kobia left, a lady called the Reverend Lillian Osei came with other persons and came to collect the forms on behalf of Honorable Kujubunsu. So today, 3 aspirants collected their nomination forms.
So Kujubunsu has picked up his form. So I
Yes.
guess now you are expecting, is that fair to say, Kablandu Fort to also come forward, either himself or somebody on his behalf?
Yes, he will do it. The arrangement we have with him is tomorrow morning. We're expecting him
Tomorrow morning. Do I take it that so far you don't have any other individuals in the pipeline?
I cannot tell you. Never, I for one, never knew that and the honorable on the Sophia will become a member. But he came. So we are prepared for all that is wanted. We are supposed to be doing this exercise today, Wednesday, tomorrow, Thursday, and then Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. each day.
And then you vet them afterwards?
Please, I didn't hear that.
Will you vet them afterwards?
Yes, when they return the form, another committee comprised of different personalities will vet them in accordance with the constitution of the party and the constitution.
And this process has been replicated in all constituencies for
Exactly.
aspiring MPs as well?
Exactly.
Thank you very much, Kakra Samoa. Kakra Samoa is the party's chair who is going to be governing and looking after this entire election process going forward into D-Day. You've heard him explain the dynamics of a party sitting executive declaring support for any of the candidates. His explanation is that you can declare support and endorse a candidate, but you have to do so in your personal capacity. I want to bring in right now a senior political science lecturer with the University of Ghana Political Science Department, Dr. Asasante. Doc, thanks for your time here on Top Story. So we just finished talking to the chair of the NDC Elections Committee, who says, well, sitting executives are allowed to declare their support so far as they do so in their personal capacities. What's your take on that?
I don't have any problem with that, so far as it doesn't breach any rule governing the whole process within the code of the NDC. I'm fine with that.
Okay, so
because democracy hinges on rule of law. If there is no effort to undermine any rule, then they are good to go.
And I was making the point to him, yes, the party's rules, as he explains, does not forbid that once you say it's my personal capacity. But fairness in elections, yes, must be done, must not only be done, must be seen to have been dispensed with, especially from those who are not John Mahama or in his camp. Don't you see that this possibly could create a problem?
I don't see any problem, because if there is no rule which is broken, then where is the problem? The only problem will be that somebody will think that somebody has a huge following. For that matter, he cannot compete with that person. Then that's the difference of we expect that person to back up and give way to those who have the courage, who have the wherewithal to contest.
And listening to everything we've heard today, all the regional chairmen declaring their support for John Mahama, we've just played the sounds of the current minority leader, the former minority leader, even the general secretary of the party says he believes John Mahama is, quote, the big favorite. If you listen to all that, is it open and shut? John Mahama, the others are possibly wasting your time, are they not?
I would not say they are wasting your time. It's a contest, a democratic one. So everybody is encouraged to contest. But the stark reality is that if you look at the NDC, from where I sit, Mahama is very popular to the rank and file, to everybody within the party. So I am not surprised that you are seeing such gestures. Apart from this, you also agree with me that he has seen it all. Yes, in terms of experience, in terms of, his record and all that. Let us remember that you cannot win any election without standing on a legacy that you have left. Those who want to contest, what legacy are they going to show? Obviously, they have to campaign using the legacy of Rawlings, Professor Mills, and then John Mahama himself. And if Mahama is a contestant, then you have a daunting task.
Dr. Asante, thank you very much. He's a senior lecturer with the University of Ghana, Political Science Department.